bypass up on the top that has been performed using a vein from the leg of someone who was a donor. And then, if you will, on that next slide, look at that ACL surgery once again.
Oh, jeez.
How many football fans again do we have in this room? How many people have heard of, so-and-so is out for the season. Robert Griffin III is out for the season. Carson Palmer is out for the season. My beloved Steelers did that in this case. I'm not bragging about being hurt, but I just had to mention my Steelers. If your knee bends like that, and it shouldn't, go back for me, please, Ms. Escalon. That is the surgery that is used to repair. Anybody had an ACL repair in here? You have? And did you have it using a graft of tissue? Was it your own or was it donated? There you go.
Wait,
did y'all hear that?
I have a question.
Yes, go ahead.
My knee can bend into,
It can now?
well, no, like my other knee, I can bend it in. Like,
Okay. All right. Yeah, you might need to see somebody about that. Okay. So I didn't come prepared to bring you any tissue for that. Okay. All right.
Question right here.
Oh, yes, go ahead.
When you donate your skin, does it come from your legs so you can have an open casket?
When you donate your skin, does it come from your leg so you can have an open casket? That's a great question, and here's why. A lot of times, here's another thing that old people, that y'all are going to help me dispel when you go from here, say. I'm not going to do that, baby, because, I don't want them butchering me when they do all that donation stuff. All right. When skin is surgically recovered, it is recovered from either large flat areas along the stomach or along the back or the back of the legs. It does not. We don't skin people. Okay? I've heard it. I've heard that. Y'all ain't skinning me. We don't skin people. Okay? The skin is taken in such a way, and all of the technicians who handle the recovery of tissue work with area funeral homes so that depending on what that family wants in the way of an open casket or whatever funeral, we can still help them provide that. It is a process known as reconstruction by which we help those families carry out their loved ones and their end-of-life wishes. Ms. Escalon, and for the sake of time, let's move on.
You have 15.
Okay, a little bit more, one more. Ms. Segovia mentioned, and I'll show you the 2 easiest ways to register. All right, if you guys want the Hero Heart on your license, only DPS can do that because they are the only agency allowed to print driver's license. Y'all hear me? They are the only ones allowed to print driver's license. And you know what I mean. All right. So, when you go to DPS and they ask that question, you say yes, and they'll ask you, do you want the Hero Heart? You can get the Hero Heart. You can also get it after you renew online the first time. So you get your license, years later you renew. They give you the option there to click and say yes. Or option 2, you already have your license and you want to go online. You can do that. Donate Life Texas. What are the 3 words again?
Donate Life Texas.
What are the 3 words again? Let's give her a prize. She remembered that. Thank you. All right. Everybody else is like, well, I remember stuff. Hold on, we're going to get some. All right. So those are your 2 easiest options. I want you to please remember them. Please, Ms. Escalon, the next slide, please. When you go online, this is what it's going to look like. That's your home page. At the very top, register now. You'll see that register now. Click on that, and you can go to the page that will allow you or your parents or whomever to register. Anyone can register. Anyone can register. Only those who are 18 can register and have their wishes carried out without someone in charge of them, meaning their parents or someone, say yes if they become a potential donor. All right, next slide, please, Ms. Escalon. This is my donor family. This is my wife and I standing in front of the tree of life, which got cut off a little in this picture. It is now a giant stained glass tree, and all of the leaves that you see on that tree have names on them going back into the 1980s. They are the names of people who have donated organs, tissues, and corneas to people whose lives have been affected. Right here, this leaf is the one that holds her husband's name, her father, her brother-in-law. The younger of the 2 daughters, not in this picture, who was a student at UT at the time, and he were driving from Sugar Land, Texas to San Angelo, Texas for a wedding the very next day. and outside of Mason, Texas, in the middle of the night, a horse crossed the road. She was lying in her seat, lying back. The horse took the top off the car and killed her father. She got out of the car and walked to find help in the middle of the night. And if you've been in West Texas, you know it's a miracle in some places to be able to find anyone. Not a bird, not a jackrabbit, nothing in West Texas. She walked and she found the first house and knocked. No one would answer. She walked to the next house and knocked. No one would answer. She gets back on the road. She told me, Lemuel, I was now about 5 to 6 miles away from the scene of the accident. I knocked on a house. I didn't see any others in the distance, and I knew this may be my last chance. I knocked, and they said, we won't let you in, but we'll call somebody. They called EMS. Everybody, as she's walking back to the scene, came by, emergency vehicles pick her up, take her back to the scene in time to see her father being airlifted to this very hospital. I lay dying at Seton Medical Center. I had 48 hours left to live. My weakened and diseased chicken of a heart was being kept alive and functioning with mechanical means, or by mechanical means, and it was failing. My family and all my friends had gathered around waiting on me to die. When we got the call, there was a heart available because of these people. About a year after my transplant, we met them for the very first time at their house in Sugar Land, Texas. And this woman, after hours of my family and their family, my one grandchild at the time, the trumpet player, only one alive at the time, we were all sitting there, and she said, as we were getting ready to go, Lemuel, can I ask a favor of you? What do you do when your donor family asks a favor of you? You want my wallet? You want my wife to clean the house? You want me to wash the car, cut the grass? What do you need? She said, can I listen to Joe, her husband, his heartbeat one last time in your chest? And she stood up, she came over to me, she wrapped her arms around me, I hugged her, and we all sobbed as two families together. A year later, my friends at the Texas Organ Sharing Alliance dedicated a rose garden to honor the hero donor families all across the state of Texas. And of all the places they could have chosen, they chose San Angelo, Texas. I had nothing to do with it. Turns out, that's the place where both my donor and his wife were childhood sweethearts in a high school much like this. They grew up in San Angelo, and the park that they planted the garden in overlooked the high school. As a matter of fact, at that ceremony, she told me, Lemuel, we used to come to this high school in between classes to make out. Come to this park, rather. All right? So, now there is a rose garden there planted in his honor. And at that meeting, his extended family, including his mother, his 85-year-old mother, came. And she said she wanted to hear her son's heart beat one last time in my face. In my chest, in my face, all right? And as they were leading this lady to me, and she was so short, I had to bend down so she could touch my face. That's what I was thinking. She put a hand on either side of my face and called me Mijo, our son. Because my donor family and the family I married into are both large Hispanic families. Which brings me to this point. Donation is an everyone issue. Everyone. Of the 121,000 people or so on that list nationally, how many people do you think are people of color? Just a guess. And how many people of all colors? How many are minorities?
85.
Close.
90.
No, lower. 90.
Something
Over
like
half. Over half.
65.
No. That's the answer. Over half. So over half. There is no us, them issue to donation. It is an everyone's issue. I have friends who have received men who have received female hearts and vice versa. We are recyclable. And we are recyclable for the good of families. Could I get you once more? This is my set of grandchildren. This is the trumpet player, right here, all right? He is now 15. I have one more grandchild who is 7 months old. This is Christmas 2013. This is our Christmas card. And oh God, they love superheroes. As a matter of fact, right now, this one has a broken leg. This one has a broken arm. This one has Batman drawn. I had to draw Batman's logo on his and Superman's on his because they love superheroes. We did Captain America Civil War, as they called it. This one can't say Civil War. He says Civil War. I want to go see Captain America Civil War. I would never have gotten that opportunity or to know these kids if someone had made that decision. One more time for me. And once again, this is how you can save lives. Now, let's get some questions. Let's get your paper stuff. Off your list.
Art.
Never too old or too sick. Never think of yourself as too old.